Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Lucky number 2. In this video we're going to be trying out something a bit different. I want to have a look at Hiko's review of patch 1.07. I've already made a video about this on Valorant Hub. Coming to think about it, it would have been great if I made this video before. I should have pushed this video on Valorant Hub. Might do it tomorrow. Regardless, I want to see, I would see this anyway. I wanted to see what Hiko's thoughts were as I tried to gather a general idea of what Valorant pros and Valorant influencers and stuff are thinking about stuff when it comes to the meta. I would be watching this video anyway, and this channel is, it's for a lot of things, and one of those things is for you to see my raw reaction to when I'm doing stuff around this industry, basically. Now, this is one of those things where I'm going to be watching this, essentially, looking at what he's saying, seeing if I can fill in anything that he might have missed, and vice versa. He can be saying stuff that I'm going to learn from and stuff. So we're going to watch about 12 minutes of this 20-minute video, because I believe the rest of it is him reacting to another video. I don't really want to be reacting to him reacting to a video, regardless. So we're going to get into watching the patch notes reaction. Let's take a look and see if we can see anything interesting here.
Valorant patch notes 1.07. All right, a full patch this time. Killjoy gets her first major update, which should empower more counterplay against her nanoswarm, as well as reduce its damage. Viper, Breach, Sova, and Sage get some worthy changes. All shotguns are aim punch and tech.
It's also worth noting that I already know everything that's been said here, because I have literally made this almost similar video with just a lot more editing than what Hiko's done here. I think this is on stream, obviously, so it's different format entirely, but I've read all of these patch notes out and edited it into Valorant Hub. So yeah, I've already seen this, but regardless, let's have a look at what Hiko's thoughts are.
Tagging tuned. So they're probably changing. So they're changing shotguns again. You can choose to remake a match under certain conditions, so you can remake. Ooh. Lots of tweaks to the observer tool, and you get some new features that should help keep your identity private in game.
So that's for streamers.
Streamer mode?
Yep, for stream snipers.
The patch also a part of an ongoing follow-through on a promise to improve hit reg clarity, with several changes coming to the visual effects of hit impact markers. Agent updates, the thing that everybody cares about. Sage. Heal reduced from
she being changed
over 5 seconds to 60 over 5 seconds. Self-heal reduced from 100 over 5 seconds to 60 over 10 seconds.
Let's not forget, this is I believe it's a 40% decrease basically in healing power in terms of the amount of HP. Pretty big.
So this means if she heals herself, it takes a lot more time to heal herself. That's kind of crazy. This is oof.
10 seconds.
So you heal really slow if you heal yourself. So it used to be if you had any amount of health, if you got healed by Sage, you'd instantly be max health. Now if you get hit to 1 HP,
you'll be 61. Yeah.
Which changes it from you being two-shotted or one-shotted.
It means that you've got to be really selective of where your positioning is, I think.
So that kind of sucks, dude. Our goal is to reduce the amount of hitting done throughout the round. Disincentivize Sage from self-healing and make it more expensive to do so. Interesting. Slow orb size reduced by 30%. So as big as the area of the slow was, now it's about 1/3 less as big. So it's 2/3 of what it used to be. This should slightly reduce the power of slow orb but increase intentionality.
His reaction to that, bro.
Intentionally covers a lot more.
I love it.
If aimed properly. Now they nerfed her heal and they nerfed her slow. Okay, what else? Barrier orb cost reduced to 300. So it's not 400 anymore. Now it's 300.
So that's a buff.
Which means on pissed around you can get armor, wall, and slow. So you're not stuck just getting armor, wall. You get armor, wall, and slow. The wall forms at 400. After a 3-second delay, the wall becomes fortified to 800. If the wall gets put down and you instantly start shooting it, it only has 400 health, which makes it a lot easier to kill. So if you throw your wall like a noob and you just get shot instantly, it will instantly break. It seems like.
I feel a bit targeted here. Yeah.
So it's half the health it did before.
This means that this means essentially that you can't, or you can, but it's not going to work out as well if you panic wall, basically. So if someone's right I don't know, by a doorway, and and you're very low, and they're attacking you and stuff. You put up the wall, and it's going to be a bit less helpful than it once was.
Already seemed like it was super low. Now, if you shoot it instantly within the first 3 seconds, that thing is going to go boop. Done. Our hope is to increase counterplay and barrier and reduce the strength of the wall during reactive use. Sage already was falling out of the meta in pro play. Most times on Sage on most maps at all anyway.
It's true.
Now,
it's true.
They literally nerfed all 3 of her abilities, and maybe it was a sidestep with the wall because the cost was reduced. But you have to think about the wall res. If you know a Sage is gonna go for resurrection, her ultimate.
Yeah. It's true.
And she throws her wall up and you shoot it instantly. Well, she can't res. So this seems like a very knee-jerk reaction that probably wasn't needed.
So knee-jerk reaction isn't what I would use per se, that wording, mainly because we have heard Morello, and I said that this on Valorant Hub already, but if you haven't watched that, Morello did say that Sage is going to be changed and that they're going to be sort of buffing and nerfing her in different ways, and that they want her to be the premier staller, not the premier healer. To be fair, this actually makes it more difficult for her to be the premier staller because the size reduced by 30% with the orb, and of course the barrier, etc. So yeah, it's an odd change. It's an odd change. I don't like it that much, but it's weird.
Comp than they are pro play, but like I said, in pro play, Sage already wasn't picked a lot.
Yeah, it's true.
Because she's just not. She wasn't that good, especially after all the nerfs already. Then they nerfed literally all of her abilities. All of her abilities just got nerfed. I don't care that the cost was reduced. They literally nerfed all of her abilities. All right, moving on. Killjoy, Nano Swarm, which is her Molly. Add a brief windup before damage begins. This means you have time to realize that you are in the Molly or the Molly is there, and you have more time to run out of it now. Okay. DPS reduced from 60 to 40. Ooh, that's a pretty big nerf too. They did 2 things to nerf it. Visual effects have been added to make it slightly easier to spot the enemy on the ground. Stealth audio range has been slightly increased. You're walking up to find where the Molly is. You'll be able to see it and hear it from further away. The damage of the Molly itself was reduced by a third again. And you have more time now to actually run out of the Molly before it actually does damage. Killjoy's Nastro has been a terror to play against. It's meant to be a strong stalling and post-plant tool, but we feel it's currently dealing far too much damage and players aren't able to engage in the desired counterplay. I think that some of this was good, but again, I feel like instead of just doing one thing at a time and seeing how it does, they're just like, poof, everything's nerfed.
And they have said, I think they said it more so with Breach, but they have said in terms of how they balance things, and this more so goes from what Morello has said and stuff, but they have said that they're trying to do what Hiko is suggesting that they should be doing, which is tweaking things slightly, but based on what Hiko's saying. Now, the thing is that Killjoy, for me, the reason why I went so quiet there compared to Sage is because Killjoy is something I want to learn a lot more about, right? Because Sage I'm quite used to. Killjoy is an agent that A, I don't play, B, I barely come across in my own games, and C, didn't see she was picked, but she was not the number 1 pick for comp. Didn't really get to see it very much, so I'm listening to the pro about it because his opinions on it is very interesting to me.
Why just nerf one part of the Molly? They can do everything. I actually think in pro play, Killjoy is not that good. I think people are learning how to play against Killjoy really hard. Her ult is probably the big one that use her for.
The ult's big. The ult is big.
The damage was a little too high. I think it was higher than every other Molly. So I think this probably puts it more in line with other Mollies. But to lower the damage, add a windup and make it so you can see it from further away. That's just like that's a big nerf to her. So
what are your thoughts on Killjoy?
That's the turret.
I'm interested.
Her alarm bot, and they didn't touch her ult. They only changed her turret and her Molly. No longer revealed by Soba's recon bolt. Okay, I think this is a bug anyway. I can see her
turret with recon.
More effectively, she's an enemy's last known location. Okay, so it's like a.
That's an intel thing.
And
isn't it?
The
feels like a recon thing.
The Sova arrow could see it through the walls from far away. Viper, toxic screen. can be placed during the buy phase of rounds through spawn barriers. So her wall you don't have to wait for the spawn barriers to go down before you can place the wall. Toxic now goes faster along its full length once it starts to form. Does that mean, let's see what it says. This change should allow Viper in many situations to get her wall placed pre-round and then join her team before the barrier drops, or create uncertainty by location when the round begins. Increased speed of the wall rising should reduce the awkward period that occurs after it starts to rise, but isn't covering all the Viper and her allies would expect. Okay. So this means you're able to put her wall down its full maximum potential pre-round before the barriers go down. Because right now it's like you can't shoot her wall through the barriers. So now they changed, you can put it wherever. They want to make it so that they don't know where she is, which I think is I actually think this is a good buff. And it takes less amount of time when you hit E for the wall to go up for the wall to actually fully form. So I actually think this is I actually like this. That's a good one.
It's important to note here when it comes to Viper that Viper, and I've spoken about this 2 videos ago, I believe, on Valorant Hub. Viper was not. Is it Viper that I'm thinking of? I think it was Viper. Viper was not once picked at all by a single player on a single map throughout the whole Flashpoint tournament. We've made a video about this already because Cypher was the #1, then it was Omen, then Jet shortly afterwards. Viper needed a buff, clearly, and Riot have seen that. I don't know how long that they've been making these planning decisions and stuff, but it's clear that Viper needs something, because how often do we see Viper? Not a lot.
Decay and all smoke no longer affects allies.
And this is why we're seeing all these buffs.
Even her ultimate, this is mainly targeted towards Viper's pit, which I think is her ult.
Yeah.
And should help reduce some of the unintentional counter she can do to her team, while also opening new strategies for playing around her ult as a team. The area of Viper has now shown her team's minimap when deployed. Now this is interesting.
The fact that he said, I think that's her ult, Hiko knows this game very, very well, right? So on that basis, clearly he doesn't come across Viper very often. I mean, maybe I'm assuming things there. I don't mean to, but that's just what I took in from it, at least.
This actually makes her ult kind of sick post plants. Like, if you're in attack and you get the bomb and you ult the site, bro, her whole team can sit in the ult, take no damage. Like, I don't know. That seems insanely crazy.
His reaction to that, bro.
I wanted to see if they're gonna do something like this is make it so that the team in the ult pulses slower, maybe the decay goes slower. Now we move on to the breach. These are not all the potential breach changes we want to do, but as part of our intentional balance philosophy, we want to be measured. Stay tuned for more potentially. My boy breach. Moving on. Flashpoint, which is his flash. Off-screen flashes now match a behavior of other flashes in the game and apply a minimum amount of flash more aggressively. So this means even if you turn from a breach flash, you're still going to get flashed a little bit, or at least as equal to other flashes. Because I'm pretty sure with breach flashes, they're the ones where, like, if you full turn from a breach flash, it wouldn't flash you like at all. Now, if you full turn, you're going to have, there's a minimum amount of flash that you can get hit by, which I think is a good thing. Charges increase from 2 to 3. So now breaches have 3 flashes. That's the first agent in the game to have more than 2 flashes. That could be a big one. Reduces wind-up time from 0.6 to 0.5. I think this means that you have less time to turn from breach flashes now too.
So they're trying to buff him, essentially.
Breach should be a choice pick in defensive entry and breaking utility. While the flash's power was pretty good, too few charges holding him back on being able to provide this value for his team. Considering he needs teammates to capitalize on his flashes, this should make up for that cost by simply having more of them. I think wind-up time means how long it takes to pull his arm out. Any arm pullers? Maybe. That might be true. Yeah, this is I think, as somebody who main breached in the beta and they haven't really touched him and he just kind of simply fell
literally
out
everyone I think is like that though, or a lot of people.
Lineups were working and how different agents were picked. I think this could be
like, that's a question. Do you use breach? I can't remember the last time I used him. So I mean, obviously that's anecdotal, but yeah.
I don't know if this is going to be enough, but I guess we'll see. Rolling Thunder, which is his ultimate. Detonation delay between blasts decreased from 0.3 to 0.25. I think this means his ult moves faster now. So I'm thinking this means that maybe if he's ulting where you are, it's harder to dodge. Which again, was it really needed? Probably not. But yeah, I think it just makes his ult faster now. And finally, concussion. Concuss now de-scopes players and prevents rescoping. Maybe a counter to Oppers. Maybe this might
That's a
actually
good point.
counter Oppers. If nothing else, this is his E. If nothing else, if you get stunned by breach, sorry, concussed, not stunned, concussed, you cannot op. You cannot scope. You are stuck. You move slow, your vision is blurry, and you can't rescope.
I mean, you can no scope, but realistically now.
Scoped in the stun. Well, unfortunate for you. Weapon updates, all shotgun aim punch update. When getting headshot by a shotgun, so specifically headshotted, the aim punch will be lower than all the other weapons. All shotguns tagging tuned for targets beyond 10 meters. Hitting an enemy past 10 meters will apply a different tagging value to them instead of the standard tagging. New tagging, 30% slow for 0.5 seconds and a smooth curve going back to normal speed. The goal of these changes is to improve the feel of playing against shotguns and to ensure that they don't end up doing odd things. For example, tagging or aim punch people from longer than expected ranges, and then a teammate ends up killing someone who's debuffed. Or makes it hard to fight back against a weapon that should be deadly up close but fairly not 30 outside its effective range. Okay, so it just makes it so that you don't get fully aim punched from...
So, by the way, if you're feeling a little lost around this part of the video in terms of what the patch notes are talking about, you're not the only one.
Across the map, and you get your tagging, if you do randomly happen to hit someone from across the map with your shotgun, it's not going to tag them for the entire tag. They buffed the Vandal. Increased firing rate from 9.25 to 9.75. This means the gun shoots faster.
No.
Not as fast as the Phantom. I believe the Phantom shoots at 12 bullets a second. Or
oh, that's crazy.
Or 10 or something. Which is okay. We don't want it to shoot as fast as the Phantom. It's not...
Yeah.
It can't be even as the Phantom. But they did make it shoot faster. Increased damage from 39 to 40. That one extra damage. Will it matter? I don't know. We'll have to find out. The goal is to bring the Vandal in closer competition with the Phantom. We believe these weapons aren't that far off in comparison. Hope these changes will do that. All right, so here is a video.
Okay, so this is where we end it here because I don't like to say. But the Vandal thing is really interesting, right? Because if you're watching competitive play, as in pro play, sorry, you'll see that the Vandal is barely used. It's generally the Phantom that does the job. And I've seen a lot of people complain about the Vandals, mainly nothing to do with actually what's being changed here, right? A lot of what people are complaining about is the first bullet inaccuracy. So is this going to please people? I don't know. I personally use the Phantom and the Spectre a lot of the time, so it doesn't affect me too much in terms of what I personally use. I will try out the Vandal a bit more to see how it feels, but this is an interesting one. I'd love to hear your take. That being said, though, as I've said, and you may already have seen it, I have made a video about everything here with my own perspective on things. So if you want to watch that, then you can go check it out on Valorant Hub. It was, I think, yeah, it was the first video I made today. So it was definitely on there by now. But that being said, if you want to be up to date with everything I'm posting on this channel, I post a lot of stuff. So before this video is up, most likely the RTX video reaction video is up. I post a lot of reaction videos about everything that I'm interested in on this channel, so if you want to be up to date with everything I post on this channel, hit that subscribe button, keep notifications on. I truly appreciate all the support that's been coming this way on the channel over the past week or so. Really do appreciate it. But with that being said, have a great day, everyone. I'll see you. Oh, hold up. Link to this video in the description. Forgot to mention. It'd be in there anyway, but regardless. That being said, have a great day, everyone. I'll see you in the next video.
Shopping.